The world holds corners where logic dissolves and maps fail. We navigate by coordinates, by history, and by the certainty of science, but there are places that refuse to obey. Consider the Bermuda Triangle. Pilots report their instrument panels flickering into static as they cross the Atlantic. The needles spin, the screens go dark, and the connection to the known world snaps. Ships vanish without a single distress signal, leaving behind nothing but calm, empty water. It is a silence that swallows everything. Then, we turn to the Karakum Desert. In Turkmenistan, the door to hell has roared with flames for 5 decades. Geologists once predicted a quick burnout, a temporary flicker that would fade into the sand. They were wrong. The fire consumes the earth with a relentless, hungry intensity that defies every calculation. It burns through the night, a jagged wound in the crust of the planet that refuses to heal. These are not just anomalies. They are ruptures in the fabric of what we call reality. We are standing at the edge of understanding, looking into a dark, burning void. The maps have failed us. From the heat of the desert, we journey to the absolute zero of Antarctica. Here, the blood falls tear through the pristine white ice, a jagged, crimson waterfall that stains the glacier in a violent streak of rust. It looks like a wound in the earth itself. Researchers have spent years testing the samples, drilling into the ice to find a source. Yet the iron-rich flow remains a subject of heated, unresolved debate. It defies the stillness of the frozen landscape. We leave the ice behind for the isolated shores of Socotra Island, where the rules of biology seem to have been rewritten. The dragon blood trees dominate the horizon, their trunks twisting upward into dense, umbrella-shaped canopies. They do not grow like the forests we know. When the bark is sliced, the trees bleed a thick, dark red sap that pools on the ground. It is a landscape that feels fundamentally alien, a pocket of the world that evolved in total isolation. These are not just strange sights. They are biological puzzles that challenge our classification of life. The Earth is hiding its mechanisms, keeping its most bizarre processes behind a veil of geography. We are looking at a planet that creates its own impossible biology. We now step into a realm where gravity loses its grip, and the environment itself turns hostile. At Magnetic Hill, the landscape plays a cruel trick on the senses. Drivers pull their vehicles to the base of the slope, shift the transmission into neutral, and take their feet off the pedals. The car does not sit still. It begins to roll, gaining momentum as it climbs upward, seemingly pulling against the very laws of physics that govern the rest of the planet. It is a disorienting experience that forces the mind to question the evidence of its own eyes. But if Magnetic Hill is a puzzle, Lake Natron is a warning. Located in the arid stretches of Tanzania, this body of water is a silent, lethal trap. Its high alkalinity creates a chemical environment so caustic that it acts as a preservative for anything that touches its surface. Creatures that perish in these waters do not decay. They calcify. They are transformed into stone-like remains, preserved in a permanent, rigid state by the mineral-rich brine. The water is a mirror that reflects the sky, beautiful and deadly. It is a place where life is halted mid-motion, turned into a statue by the chemistry of the earth. We are witnessing a transition from the merely strange to the actively dangerous. We turn our focus from the raw power of nature to the enduring mysteries of human history. Stonehenge stands as a silent, monolithic testament to engineering that should not have been possible. Massive stones weighing tons were hauled across miles of treacherous, uneven terrain without the aid of modern machinery. How did a primitive society coordinate the transport and precise placement of these boulders? The site remains a monument to a forgotten logic. We move from the stone circles of England to the dense, silent woodlands of Poland. In the crooked forest, hundreds of pine trees grow with a singular, inexplicable deformity. Every trunk bends at a perfect 90-degree angle near the base before curving upward toward the sky. They do not twist randomly. Walking through these rows feels like stepping into a manufactured space, a forest that grew according to a blueprint rather than the sun. Whether these trees were shaped by human hands or bent by a localized, unknown force, the result is a landscape that feels fundamentally wrong. We now ascend to a place that time seems to have forgotten. Mount Roraima rises above the clouds like a colossal, flat-topped fortress. its sheer cliffs cutting through the mist. This plateau has been isolated for eons, creating a biological vault where evolution took a different path. The species found here exist nowhere else on the planet, thriving in a world that remains untouched by the pressures of the lowlands. It is a sanctuary of the strange, a vertical island suspended in the sky. Yet, nature holds even more contradictory wonders. We travel to the eternal Flame Falls, where the elements themselves seem to defy the laws of chemistry. Behind a curtain of rushing water, a flickering light burns with steady, persistent intensity. It is a visual paradox: fire and liquid coexisting in a single confined space. The water does not extinguish the flame, and the heat does not evaporate the fall. They exist in a state of perpetual tension, a defiance of nature that challenges our perception of how the world should function. These locations are not merely landscapes, they are open wounds in our understanding of reality. We leave the natural world behind and approach a boundary where the map ends and the silence begins. The perimeter of Area 51 does not announce itself with signs or fanfare. It manifests as a sudden, heavy stillness in the desert air. You drive until the road turns to dust, and then you stop. The horizon here is vast, yet every inch of it feels watched. The wind carries no scent of life, only the dry, metallic tang of sand and the distant hum of unseen machinery. This is a place built on the foundation of exclusion. For decades, the desert has served as a vault for secrets that refuse to be categorized. Rumors circulate like the shifting dunes, whispering of technology not forged by human hands, of materials that defy the known properties of metal and light. You stand at the edge of the restricted zone, and the atmosphere shifts. The curiosity that drove you here curdles into a sharp, primal caution. As the sun dips below the jagged mountains, the shadows stretch across the restricted land, and the sense of impending revelation becomes suffocating. The evidence is everywhere, and it refuses to align with the textbooks. Consider the blood falls of Antarctica, where a deep crimson flow tears through the white ice. It is iron-rich, persistent, and utterly inexplicable to the researchers who test its source. Then, look to the door to hell in Turkmenistan. A massive crater has roared with fire for 50 years. Geologists predicted a quick burnout, yet the flames consume the Earth with a relentless, impossible intensity. The consensus fails again at Magnetic Hill. You shift your car into neutral, take your foot off the brake, and watch as the vehicle rolls uphill, dragging against the very laws of gravity. In Lake Natron, the water acts as a silent trap. Its high alkalinity calcifies any creature that touches its surface, turning living flesh into stone-like remains. These are not isolated accidents. They are consistent, observable ruptures in the fabric of our world. Science offers theories, but the theories crumble when faced with the reality of the phenomena. We see the stones of Stonehenge, moved by primitive tools across miles, and we see the pines of the Crooked Forest. Biology, engineering, physics, all are challenged. These sites are open wounds in our understanding of reality. The pattern is undeniable. You have seen the fire, the stone, and the blood, but look closer at what they represent. These are not merely curiosities for a travelogue. They are direct, physical contradictions to the narrative of a fully mapped world. Every time a car rolls uphill or a tree twists into an impossible shape, the foundation of your certainty cracks. We cling to the belief that science has provided the final word on how our planet functions, yet these 11 locations stand as living proof that our knowledge is incomplete. They are open wounds in the collective human intellect. If the laws of physics can be suspended in a crater or a lake, then the stability you rely on every day is a fragile assumption. You are not looking at nature. You are looking at the limits of human perception. The mystery here is not what causes the fire or why the stone moves. The mystery is why we continue to believe that the world is solved when the evidence screams the opposite. These places exist in the gaps where logic dissolves and maps fail, serving as a constant, silent reminder that the universe does not owe us an explanation. The truth is hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to stop pretending. The list ends, but the questions remain. Science offers theories, yet the mystery persists, untouched by our attempts to categorize or explain it. These 11 locations are not just anomalies. They are markers on a map of the unknown, pointing toward truths we have yet to grasp. What do you believe lies behind these ruptures in our reality? Is it a flaw in our perception, or something far more deliberate? Share your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear your perspective on what drives these forces. This is not the end of the search. It is only the beginning of a much deeper descent. Our next investigation will venture into even darker territory, where the rules of the world break down entirely, and the silence is far more dangerous. The path ahead is unmapped, and the shadows are growing longer. Subscribe now. Stay alert. The world you think you know is changing, and we are going to follow the evidence wherever it leads, no matter how far from the light it takes us. The truth is waiting in the places we are told not to look. We will be there to find it. See you in the next chapter.